Okay, let's set up. Let me just set up my stream so I can see the chat here. And we'll be getting into Elite today. Alright, let's just hop into it. Hopefully the games don't take too long to match. I don't think they should, since we're still decently low ranked. And there seems to be a lot of people at these ranks still. Which means, in theory, this content should help a lot of people. Alright, Sidewinder, unfortunate start to the day, since doing Sidewinder with no mechanics is a bit iffy, so we're going to do it without the drift button. So we're going to let the game auto-drift us, and we're going to count that as low mechanics. So all we're doing is holding the analog stick. All we're doing is literally holding the analog stick. As you can see, it drives us under the coals, so it makes it a bit sloppy, because we don't have the correct angle on it. We just kind of hold it. And in here, we can't really do it, so we're actually just going to drive up the ceiling and back down. Our hand's literally off the controller during that. Like, all we're doing is driving in a straight line. So I'm confident that people can do straight lines. So again, here, my hand's off the controller. We're just literally just driving. And here, since we can't press the drift button, we're just kind of letting the game drift for us. Sidewinder, I really don't know how to do a balance of mechanics and not mechanics, because again, here, not drift button. We're just letting the game drift for us. And then we can just drive in a straight line, because we can't do any small little drifts, we can't do anything. We just have to drive in a straight line. And currently I think we're mid-diamond, getting close to Diamond 3. Today I think the goal is to get to Elite, and then maybe start pushing through that. But again, we're not pressing the drift button on any of these. We can't really make it less mechanical on Sidewinder, sadly, because the game forces you to drift. I think as you can see right here, the angles become really weird. And again, our hand's off the controller. We just let it correct itself. Like, only on the acceleration button. We let go of the analog stick completely when it starts going up a wall. That way we don't spin out. So anytime you start going up a wall, just let go of the analog stick and the game will sort itself out. As you can see, since we can't actually activate drifts, our drifts look really sloppy. We end up crashing into walls. But that's perfectly fine. That's realistic for this rank, right? It's mostly about knowing where to use the turbos that'll allow me to pass everyone else. Because most of these spots, they can also drive in a straight line. Here, they can hold an analog stick. In fact, they can hold it with the drift button to get significantly more drift. I think after this I might do a series where I get to Unreal without drift button bound. I'm just debating if that'll be too easy, and I might also unbind Airwall. So again, here, we're not lined up, I just let go of my analog stick. The game literally corrects itself. I have faith that they're able to not press buttons at this rank. See? We're just doing nothing. It's just driving. And we have one person that's kind of close to us, and that's about it. Oh, did we not get enough? We couldn't drift on the proper angle. Oh, there we go. We got enough. And there we go. Diamond still pretty easy. Straight line tech as much as possible. No drift button. No air flips. Nothing fancy. And it still absolutely crushed basically every single person in the lobby. Hey, Zeus. We're back to the straight line tech. As much as possible. I'm curious where straight line tech starts to wear off. Yeah, Sidewinder we've been playing without the drift button, because I don't know how to... I don't know how to make it less mechanical. Like, you'll have to turn on the turns. So I just don't press the drift button, I just hold the analog stick. That's still enough. Hi, Lurden. We are getting to Unreal in this challenge with basically low to no mechanics depending on what rank we are. Like in Champion, we're going to do a little bit of drifting. But watch here, we're going to not use the drift button this whole race. No air flipping. We're just going to jump. I have faith that every Diamond player can just jump. We're just kind of just driving in straight lines. We're not down flipping into these. We're just letting our car kind of float down into them. No drifting. Here our car will auto drift. Like, I'm not going to press the drift button. Just holding the analog stick makes it drift. So I can't not drift. Like, the game literally forces it. But in general, we're just floating around the map. Nothing for us to really crash into, since there's nothing in the air. We're just kind of hovering around. And hovering around is enough to beat Diamond players pretty easily. It's probably enough to beat Elite players pretty easily. And we could see one icon behind us kind of keeping up, so they seem decent speed. But again, this is the only section we'll drift. And that's because the game literally forces us to drift. Just holding your analog stick drifts you. So can't really do anything about that. Mid D3? Yeah, a lot of people complain that D3, like that they were winning a lot of D2 and then they got to D3 and then it became like impossible. So I'm assuming D3 is going to be like a significant difficulty increase. We haven't used any turbos, so I guess we can use them. We'll crash into the wall a little bit. We're just kind of floating around, and that easily crushes people at this rank. Alright, just a few games and we'll be Diamond 3 ourselves. Yeah, I'm really excited to see the difficulty increase, to see where you can push this to. Yeah, I did lap the other guy. Which kind of feels a little bit bad, but like I don't know what to do. Like I'm just the two things I'm using to climb are just kind of float in the air and drive in straight lines. Like, we're almost Diamond 3 and we barely drift, or don't drift at all, depending on most of the maps. Like, some maps you have to. Like Anaconda. Like, I can't not drift. Yeah, I know. That's what everyone says. Okay. So how do you make Airborne 2 not mechanical? Since it's literally a mechanics map. It's a great question. Can they side flip to those boost pads? Let's see. They cannot. Okay, driving, just floating in the air might be too hard. Okay, we're gonna assume we can't flip up. We're gonna assume that we can't, like, drift. We're gonna assume we can only drive basically in straight lines, because straight line tech is about what you need to win a diamond. Can we flip up to those? Of course not. Can we drive in a straight line? I guess. Like, we have to be able to do a little bit of something at some point, because like, I have faith they can do something. Like, my hand's off the controller, by the way. That's not even me steering up. The car literally just drives up on its own. But yeah, this is the D2 area, where you just kind of drive in straight lines. Oh, we hit lava. Feels bad. Like, do we have faith that you can do a single air flip? Yeah. Or yeah. Or is that too much for a diamond? Like, I feel like they must know where those buttons are by this point. But again, my hand's off the analog stick. Her literally just does that. It just drives up the side of the tube. So I'm gonna say that's not mechanical, since if I walked away from my controller, it would do it. Yeah, the straight line tech is killer strong, huh? Diamond players be cracked. We didn't even need two. We didn't even need more than one turbo. No, they're not bots. These are all real people, Blurden. If you look on Reddit, a lot of people complain they're stuck in Diamond. Like, that's where the majority of players are, is Diamond. Like, the majority of, I'd say, active players are all Diamond and Platinum. And this is only, like, this is the skill level you need to be able to win and climb at this rank. It's just kind of drive in a straight line. But if you go on the Reddit, on the subreddit, literally it'll be flooded with people saying their heart's stuck in Diamond, that there's no way to get to Elite, that everyone's too good. And, I don't know what to tell them. That's why I'm doing this series, because driving in a straight line kind of is enough to get to Elite, and then, like, doing we'll do a little bit of drifting occasionally on some maps, but that's about it. You're in Unreal? Yeah, I'm about top 50, top 40 Unreal myself. After this challenge, I think I'm gonna get Unreal with the drift button Unbound. And maybe also Airflip Unbound. I don't know if that's a little bit too BM to do both. I guess that would be even less mechanics than this. When I'm able to watch you play, I could do that later in the day, like in 4 hours, somewhere between, anywhere in the next 4 to 7 hours works. Alright, are the diamonds able to drive in a straight line? Obviously, we can't air flip to those, because that's way too mechanical for high diamond. Why I don't? I did. I got to rank 50. Now I can't get Qs, is the real reason Stepdad. It's about an hour to get a game. Otherwise I would be. So instead, I'm just driving in a straight line. Straight line tech is OP. We don't know how to air flip. If we knew how to air flip, we could do a lot of things. But we don't. We're just kind of just gonna drive. Could we air flip to those? Maybe, if we know how to air flip. We're just kind of hovering our car against the wall. We can't get those because we can't air flip. This guy actually seems decently fast for this rank. He's very mechanical, as you can see. All we have is straight lines. He's got us crushed. If we hold the right stick around here, by the way, it just drifts us. Like, it's more work to not drift than it is to drift. That wasn't even my drift button. So, like, I think it counts, right? I have to actively try not to drift there. But we haven't used the drift button the whole game. D2 should be able to air flip? I don't know. You say that, but like, look at how we're doing. We're just kind of hovering against walls. And we're driving in a straight line, and it's enough to beat, like, High Diamond. Like, we're doing it. Like, you don't need any mechanics to get to these ranks. And again, I'm not even pressing the drift button here. I'm just holding the analog stick. It drifts me. We'll even miss some of those just because it might be considered unfair. I don't know how holding your analog stick around a turn is unfair, but, you know, it is what it is. Someone's going to complain that that's too mechanical. So again, all we're kind of doing is floating. We can't air flip to these because that's way too mechanical. We're not even going to try to hover against them because people will say that's impossible. We're going to say we can't try to get the other one even because, again, maybe you panicked after you pressed your turbo and that's too mechanical. So kind of just driving in a straight line without the drift button, without it. Kind of still crushes diamonds. Yeah, Stepdad, I'd much actively prefer playing on my main. If I could get ranked games within even 3, 4, 5 minutes, I'd be doing that on stream. But like, it literally takes... I haven't got that single ranked game in about 5 days on my main. Every time I go to queue, it's like 40 minutes and then I give up. And I'm like, okay. So I just either grind customs myself to get better, or I'll stream and hopefully provide entertaining and very useful content to a lot of people that are stuck in Diamond and Platinum. And soon to be Elite and Champion as we keep climbing with low mechanics. Yeah, I don't think we're going to air flip for quite a while, Zeus. Okay, we have to air flip on this map, literally, because there's one section that is so long that if you don't air flip, you just can't make it across. So we're going to air flip on that section and that's it. But in general, we're going to do only the drifting on the main sections. Besides that... Dude! I thought he was going to drive me right into that pillar. Did you see that? Like, people have been drifting this turn since gold, so we're going to drift this one, obviously. But same with the turn up here. Like, we're not going to do the fancy jump off shortcut. But they obviously know how to drift this. Like, it's giant. So anyone this rank can drift this. Same with this. And this turn here. Like, these turns are so wide that, you know, there's lots of room. And this is the first... It's not mechanical, but something they don't know. Just press the jump button. One single jump button. That gets you ahead of everyone. And again, here, you know what, we don't even need the air flip. We could just say we'll attach to the wall. Right, maybe air flip is too mechanical. But again, we can't drift on the tubes, we have no mechanics. All we can do is kind of hover in the air. But again, we're only drifting on like these major turns where every single person will drift. Like, every single person's been drifting on those since gold. Don't tell me that's a dude that's still stuck here. What the heck? But again, we wait till we're near the top so we get a smaller drift than we normally would, because we don't want to like be taking advantage of it. You know, we're not even gonna drift here. Maybe drifting is cheating too much somehow. Some of the turns I guess we could do without drifting. But again, all you have to do is once you're straight, press the jump button. One single tap of the jump button. Which is not very mechanical. Like, we're doing basically nothing, right? Just kind of just driving in straight lines. My hand's been off the analog stick here. Put it back on now. Do one drift. I didn't mean to chain drift. He literally bumped me into starting a drift. That was a new one for me. Again, we're not going to drift here because drifting is a bit too hard of a mechanic for High Diamond. So we'll do it less than we normally would. Less than every other person in the race. Again, you just jump off, wait to go through the checkpoint. We don't know how to air flip, so we'll just kind of sit next to that wall. And then we'll just kind of float through here. And then we use our turbo at the end. Only after we're lined up with the finish line. I don't think I've actually ever been force drifted before. Well, I mean, like, I'm sure I have a couple times, but... You know, as we climb up in the ranks, we'll have to do a little bit more drifting on that map. But... for now, it's perfectly fine. Like, we're actively avoiding spots that everyone else drifts, because... I don't know. Maybe it's too hard otherwise. But I'm pretty positive if you're Diamond 2 and you watch that gameplay, there's nothing you couldn't do. Shortcuts are allowed if they're non-mechanical. Like when I jumped off there, all I have to do is press the jump button a single time. There's no real mechanic to it, right? It's just knowing that you have to press the jump button once. Drifting into like a tougher, like on Pleasant Park, for example, that one's a little bit more mechanical. Unless every single person in our lobby is hitting it, we're probably not doing it. Same with like Tilted Turnpike, like we're not taking that inside track. Yeah, that's easy. That's not mechanical. That's just holding your jump button. I'm pretty sure if you show that to anyone, they'd be able to do it. And again, my hand's off the analog stick. It literally just goes up by itself. And although we assume they should be able to do some form of a drift at some point, it might be a lot to assume. Can we just float up to this? Okay, there we go. We didn't even air flip. We just literally smashed our head into the ceiling. I think smashing our head into the ceiling counts. Yeah, knowledge-based shortcuts are allowed. And again, here all you have to do is let go. Like the car drives up by itself. So if you're missing that one, just do less. Again, so we're just going to fly up into the ceiling. No air flip. We just smash our head onto it. Oh, they're keeping up. Like, taking those boost pads feel a little bit too much, even though, I don't know, I'm not air flipping. Sometimes you oversteer? Yeah, but you could not. Like, it's not mechanical to not press buttons. I understand people making mistakes because they're trying to do more. And again, we're just going to smash our head into the ceiling. Use one turbo. Use our second turbo. I was taking advantage of the catch-up mechanic by saving our turbos, although I think we were in first basically the whole race, so it doesn't really matter too much. And that's 4 seconds faster with no air flips and no drifting. Yeah, it really is depressing how little mechanics you need. Yeah, I think we can get to Elite pretty easily. When we start getting like... Yeah, I mean, we'll have to start adding in a little bit of drifting at some point. And again, it depends on the map. Some maps you don't need it. Driving in a straight line is enough for some maps. Some maps that are very drift heavy, I mean, obviously we need a little bit of drifting. What's your current goal in Unreal, Zeus? Sub 1000? Yeah, I'm trying to do like watching flicks in Rocket League is definitely good inspiration for this, showing that you can get to the top ranks without doing much. It's interesting how the goalpost always moves though, hey? Like at some point it was get champion, then it was get Unreal, now it's get top 1000. Never satisfied with whatever we are at. We always want to keep going. Alright. Do you think they can go through the outpost at, like, Diamond 2, Diamond 3? Or is that too tricky? I don't know what's allowed, or what's considered mechanical. So for our drifts, we'll have to kind of mess them up a little bit on some of the tougher ones. We'll do drift and drift, but this one we're going to drive into the wall because anything less than that feels like it's cheating. Like we're already so far ahead, like we'll drift late, smash into the wall and get like the tiniest little drift. Basically got no drift. We're going to pretend we don't know how to drift. We're just going to fly around here. That's not mechanical, it's just knowledge that that shortcut exists. I don't know if going through the outpost is too mechanical. So we're just going to drive around it. Dude's air flipping over here. Yeah, see they all drift through lava, so we should like bump them to walls or something. We should also not know how to drift. We'll just do small drifts, you know what I mean? Like, maybe no drift here at all, because drifting's so mechanical that somehow no one can drift. We'll just kind of float around. And again, yeah, we'll smash into walls just like they do, because that's about the skill. Like that everyone can drift, they'll just smash into walls. So like us copying them smashing into walls seems perfectly fine. Maybe we'll even do 1 millisecond drift. Crazy. So again, we'll just bump into the walls. Because every time we drift, we should probably be crashing, since somehow they can't do a single drift, basically, without crashing. I mean, this one's really wide, so it's actually kind of hard to crash on. Because it's uphill, it just kind of works like that. But in general, we'll just kind of just drive around. I know they're... This guy's drifting pretty well, he's pretty mechanical. You know, he took that whole turn without bumping. We'll bump though. We're just kind of driving in straight lines. Doesn't look like we'll get first place. Straight line tech is starting to slow down. Again, bump into walls. Maybe even just drive through a little bit of lava, really drive it home. Ah, never mind. We still get first. I thought driving through the lava and the coals might make it a little bit more fair, but... yeah, mostly just driving in straight lines is enough. Like, not even drifting most of the turns. What do you mean disrespect? I'm trying to make it more fair. Somehow I feel like I'm still, like, cheating. Even though, again, we're, like, actively avoiding drifting on turns for a lot of them. Oh, you know the lanes? Yeah, I know, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm just showing that if you have a little bit of knowledge, like if you watch this series, that should be enough to get you there. Because nothing I'm doing is tough. Like when I drift, I smash into the walls on purpose. And I'm confident they can also drift into walls. Like, I believe in their ability to crash. If they can't crash, well then they're already doing better. Like, so again, this is a tough map for not drifting. Like, I don't know how to... I don't know. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to drift as little as possible, and when we do drift, we're not going to use the drift button. Does that kind of simulate bad driving? In maps like this, in Sidewinder, it's kind of like, what are you supposed to do? It's only drift-based. But we'll do our best to still not drift very much. We'll start by floating around the turn instead of drifting it, even though that's obviously significantly slower. By slower, I mean it builds less drift, but like less turbos. But drifting apparently is a little bit too much of a mechanic, so we're just going to float our car around the map. Here we're just holding the left analog stick. As you can see, it's not great. Same with here, we're going to hold our right analog stick. And again, hold the left analog stick. All we're doing is holding it as hard as we can. I'm going to say that's not super mechanical. Again, we're going to hold it as hard as we can. And then hold it as hard as we can. That's all we're doing. It's just holding an analog stick as hard as we can in one direction. Not using the drift button. Hard as we can. If that requires bumping into walls, it requires bumping into walls. We're not using the drift button on Anaconda because, for some reason, at Diamond, pressing the drift button would be considered cheating. That's what people would tell me. So all we're doing is holding the analog stick around turns, which obviously gives very, 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 very bad drifts. What the heck was that? But like, I don't know how we're supposed to do Anaconda not mechanically. Um, so we'll probably do a little bit of drifting or something as we go, because otherwise it's just not really fun to watch, not really fun to play. But we'll try to keep it like as minimal as possible. Let's put it that way, for like drift heavy maps. But again, Zeus, the goal isn't to be a diamond player, right? So I'm not trying to experience what it's like to be a diamond. I'm trying to show that if you know where to turbo, that it's easy without mechanics. I'm trying to prove that knowledge is more important than the mechanics. So turboing at the wrong spots defeats the whole point. We're out here winning with better routes. Okay, Puddle Jumper 1. Obviously a very, very, very drift-heavy map. So... yeah, same as in Rocket League. Where if you know positioning and stuff like that, it's just as important. So we're gonna do like a tiny little bit of drifting, and that's it. Like no more than the bare minimum here. So we're gonna do maybe like 3 small drifts per lap, and that's it. We're gonna do 1 at the very start, right here. When I say small, I mean small. Like, did you see? Like, I held it for like 1/10 of a second. 1 right here. And they're drifting in here and stuff. Us, not so much. They're all so fast. And then 1 small one. Oh, okay, I lied. There'll be 1 more spot, because this turn up here is pretty big for a straightaway. And we're just going to drive into the wall. Because I have confidence that they're able to drive into a wall. I believe any Diamond player has the skills to drive into a wall. What do you think? Again, we'll do 1 small drift, and that's it. Not drifting the whole way. There seems to always be 1 player that's like much faster than everyone. So, drifting into a wall. Full faith in their abilities to do this. Diamonds should be experts at drifting into walls. Alright, we'll take a 2nd place. That guy was obviously way faster than everyone else. And I don't want to cheat just because there's 1 dude that is significantly faster. Maybe we'll just run it back after. Play it twice. I do hate how slow Diamond is to climb. I think that was my biggest problem with the no turbo one, is like we were winning first every single game, and it still was like painfully slow. I mean, it kind of is good in a sense that you probably need to put that time in to get Unreal either way. But, because you need to get better at the game. But it's also bad that if you are good, or at least okay, that it's painfully slow. And then you are wasting time. Okay, do you think straight line text still works at this rank? Just driving in a straight line without my analog stick for like most of the map. The one tunnel up there, like coming up, you know the one. We're gonna do one drift around that because since Gold, every single player drifted around that. Like it's a massive turn. I'm pretty sure you have to drift around it. Like just holding your analog stick drifts you. But that's about it. Straight line. I don't even have my hand on the analog stick yet. Still don't. Alright, we're not using the drift button. We're literally holding the analog stick and drifting. So, Diamond should know the lane shortcut. Alright, let's see. I'm not gonna hit the boost pad because that's way too mechanical. We're just driving in a straight line. We're just gonna hold the analog stick here, which gets us a drift. That's not us drifting. I think you'll overestimate Diamond Zeus. It's literally just straight lines is enough to beat them. Like, we're doing nothing, right? Most of this I'm playing with one hand. Here I just hold the analog stick, and that's it. I just hold it as hard as I can. Besides that, we're just driving in straight lines. We're not using the drift button. We're not hitting any boost pads because that's all way too mechanical. We're just driving in a straight line. And this absolutely demolishes diamonds. And again, we're just holding the right analog stick as hard as we can. If we spin out a bit, it's okay. Doesn't matter. No drift button. We haven't even used a turbo, by the way. Like, they're not even in our sights. And all we're doing is just driving in a straight line. This is why when people get stuck in Diamond, I'm a little bit unsure what's going on. Because again, we're not using the drift button. We're just holding the analog stick around the turn. And then just driving in a straight line. You really telling me Diamonds can't drive in a straight line? Like, to not use their analog stick? Like, again, my hand's just off. I'm gonna drive the rest of the race without my analog stick. Like, literally, I'm only playing with one hand. You can literally let the car drive itself and it's faster than Diamond players. I don't know how to make it less mechanical than that. So I'm hoping this series will be a lot of use to people on Reddit that are all stuck in Diamond. Where you could be like, okay, so whatever you're doing, just stop that and drive in a straight line. The problem is when we get to like the maps like Anaconda and Sidewinder, because I don't know how to like hold back on drifting to make it fair. And the best I can do is not use the drift button. Alright, Airborne 1. So Airborne 1, we have faith at High Diamond they can do a couple small drifts. Right? It's an entire drift-based map. Thanks, Eric. So let's see what the kind of drifts they do here are. Like, are they able... Like, look at them drift. That's a big drift. We're just going to do one small little drift. In this section, I think is fair to drift. We're leaving bump into the wall. Even though it's so wide that it's basically impossible to bump into the wall, we'll still do it. Obviously, we can only drive in straight lines. Because somehow, despite being Diamond, that's all anyone's able to do. They all drift on this turn, by the way. So we'll probably do it on laps like 2 or 3. But again, here it's so wide that there's no real area to bump into. So I don't feel bad drifting it, because they all drift it. Hey, Bernie. And again, they're drifting through out here, so we can do one small drift. Much less than they're doing. And it might look like they're all ahead of me. That's because they are. And again, here. It's so wide that there's no, like, things to crash into, right? Even then we crashed into it lap 1, just to prove. But in general, we're just saving our turbos. Baby drift's coming back. Yeah, see, they're drifting on the here. We're not going to do it. You know, somehow again. Maybe it's all too mechanical. We're going to start our drift. And then we're going to use our turbo. We're just going to drive in straight lines. And again, look at them drift. So we're allowed to do one that's like 1/10 of the speed that they're doing. They're doing it for much longer than we are. We're gonna wait till we're in the middle. There's nothing around us for to bump into, but yeah, we're still gonna do it. Because somehow, we're so mechanical that even though we're in the middle of nowhere. On the 3rd lap, we're gonna do a drift here because they've done it every single lap to make it a little bit fair. And that's about it. Save your turbos to the end. Use catch-up mechanic. Basically no drifting, except for like significantly less than they're doing. And when we do, we bump into the walls intentionally to make it more fair, even on areas that are near impossible to bump into. Alright, we're 1 away from Diamond... is it Diamond 3? Does it go up to Diamond 1 or Diamond 3? I don't know how the ranking system works. It's been a bit. I guess we'll find out on the next one. But yeah, we're only doing baby drifts. I think we can get all the way to Unreal without. Yeah, we're hitting them with the mustard mechanic. Is it a bit higher? All right, we should drift and then turbo. You're right. I don't think it really made a difference, but yeah, we'll drift and then turbo. That was my bad. Good call. Yeah, I mean, that's why I've got the webcam on. As you can see, I'm just surrounded by ketchup. Ah, crap, I don't have the webcam. You're just gonna have to take my word. There's ketchup everywhere. Okay, so I don't know how to do this non-mechanically, because, like, it's just a figure 8. There's so many drifts. What do you think counts? Like, what's allowed? Like, we have to be able to, like, drift these turns, right? Like, this? Kinda, like half drift them. Like drift and then don't know how to hold it, so we let go. Get no speed from it, something like that. Miss both the boost pads, something like that. Not drift here. Not take those. Like, is this all reasonable? Maybe one drift. And again, they don't know how to drift this, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just drift through the friggin' lava. Because we are so bad at racing, we don't know how to jump. Is that unmechanical enough? Driving through the lava? Like, oh no! We're gonna bump into walls and drift. We're also full turbos, by the way. So I guess we should use one. That's exactly what you did. Like, we'll bump into walls and drive over the coals every time we drift, because, like, I don't know if you can get less mechanical. But, like, let's just drive through every piece of lava, because anything above that might be considered mechanical. Is it mechanical? Because, is that too mechanical? Well, not even drift here. You know, maybe drifting's too mechanical for High Diamond. Like, again, we're just driving through lava. I have faith that they can do that. Should take one of the ball hazards? Sure. We'll take one of the ball hazards too. Oh look! A ball hazard. Oh look, a lava. Look, a wall. Oh no, we're hitting everything. Oh no, more ball hazards. Like, I don't think we can do it less mechanical in this, right? Like, we're actively going out of our way to hit every single piece of lava, basically. This is just the skill cap of Diamond. And that was 5 seconds faster, by the way, while we went and hit every single piece of lava, basically, driving through them all. So, like, if you're stuck in Diamond 1 or Diamond 2, apparently all you need to do to win 5 seconds faster than everyone is hit every single piece of lava. And that's enough. But seriously, just driving in straight lines. Like, straight lines or drifting through lava seems to be enough to absolutely crush. If they die, yeah, that's what it is. It's they're dying trying to do stuff. But if you just don't die... And that dying isn't very mechanical when you're not trying to do anything fancy. I don't know, Zeus, like... off-road slow you down? No, not generally. Sometimes it won't speed you up, though, Native. Driving on the road will increase your natural driving speed. Some dirt paths don't, but it never really slows you down. Okay, can they drive in straight lines? Like, obviously they can't hit that boost pad, because that's a little mechanical for Diamond 3. But day drifting 2. How much of day drifting 2 can we do without drifting? Like, we're just going to hold our analog stick here. We're not pressing the drift button. In fact, drifting might be too much mechanics and all, even accidentally. So maybe we won't do any of it. Obviously, air flipping is way too mechanical, so we can't hit that boost pad. But I have faith that they can pull back on the analog stick and float through the air. And then drive in a straight line. My hand's literally off the analog stick. We're just driving in a straight line. This is Diamond 3, everyone. Like, we're doing it. Like, we can make mistakes. None of it matters. Again, we're just holding the right analog stick. We're not even pressing the drift button. If you mess up, it doesn't even matter. This is day drifting 2 with no drift button and actively avoiding some of the drift spots, by the way. Like, we could get a lot of drifts even without the drift button. But we're just kind of floating through the air. That save was a little too mechanical. Yeah, but I mean, I just had my hand off the analog stick. That's the only reason it happened. And again, we should probably be able to hit that boost pad 1 out of 3 times in Diamond, even with low mechanics. Oh, by the way, we haven't used a turbo. We're full turbos. I'm trying not to drift. Like, it's actively more work than not drift, by the way. But, you know, somehow that might still be considered mechanical if we drift, so. I guess we'll just kind of float around the map. And this is where most of Reddit is complaining that they're stuck. Like, where are they? Hello? What the heck? What do you mean? No, but Bernie, if you watch this, you then know the shortcuts. It's not whether they know it or don't know it. I'm winning with knowledge. That's the whole point. Yeah, and they can do that. That's why I beat them. But if they knew the shortcuts, like if they watch this, they can do the shortcuts. It's literally just floating through the air. There's no, like, sharp turns or mechanics to them. They just have to know they exist. We're not playing at the knowledge base of a Diamond player with no mechanics, otherwise we'd just be a worse Diamond. If they have the knowledge to know that there is a shortcut, like if they watch the stream, I'm positive they could float around and do the shortcut. There's no mechanics to it. You're like, why aren't you playing like a Diamond with Diamond roots and no mechanics and still getting Unreal? It's like, that one might be a little bit trickier. But no, it's almost all about pathing. Which one's this? Pedal Jumper 1? So obviously by Diamond 3 they could do it. Yeah, why aren't you just driving backwards? Driving backwards to get a real new challenge. So we're gonna do some drifting, but we're gonna drift into like mostly walls. Like I have faith it can drift into this wall, right? Like just hold drift into a wall. Is that too mechanical? Like, I don't expect you to drive like properly, but drifting into a wall seems like it's not too crazy of a mechanic. Same here. All we're doing is pulling back on our analog stick and just floating. It's not super mechanical. They just don't know about that shortcut. And then we're just driving in a straight line. We're gonna do one small little drift as we come out of here, and that's about it. And again, we're gonna go back. We're gonna drift into walls because anything more than that is considered too mechanical. Like it seems pretty reasonable that high diamond should be able to drift into a wall, right? Yeah, Louis got mod. Dude's in here all the time. And again, we're just driving in straight lines. Yes, exactly. A lot of diamonds don't know about pulling up into the analog stick. But once you do know about it, it's very easy, right? Drifting walls is good. No, the drifting walls is very bad. But we're assuming that at high diamond, you don't know how to drift normally. So we're doing it as low mechanics as possible to Unreal. So that includes no drifting this entire time, basically. Because somehow at diamond, you don't know how to drift yet. So if we are drifting, which somehow seems like cheating at diamond, we're drifting into walls. But in general, we're just kind of floating around the maps. Driving in straight lines and floating is enough to beat pretty well every diamond player. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it still works at the league. Like, we're gonna get to Unreal just floating around the map. Yeah, the goal of this challenge is that if you're whatever rank I am at, like Diamond 3, Elite, Champion, and you watch any of the gameplay, you'll be like, I can 100% do that. Because it's very easy, low mechanics. I'm sure you could drift into a wall, like at Diamond. I'm sure you could also drift and not hit the wall, which would be even faster. But if somehow you're Diamond 3 and all you could do is hold the drift button into a wall, it's still enough to win. Hey, Maxwell. Alright, while we're learning the game, I'm gonna throw out that everyone go press that like button so the algorithm favors us. I don't ask for much. Okay, Windy Way. We haven't had this one since about Diamond 1. Stream with face cam? I could. I look okay. I just have to set it up. I did read that people like, personalities more. So again, obviously every single person could drift here. So we're gonna drift here. I think it's a little bit too much to be able to drift in the tunnel, so we're just gonna float around here, even though it's much slower. Because we just matched their speeds without the drifting. We're gonna drift around this turn here, because again, everyone could drift this turn. And then they still don't really know the shortcut, which is just pull back on the analog stick and float through here. Normally you turbo, but we're not drifting very much, so we don't have a lot of turbos. And then again here. This area is so big, there's nowhere to crash. Like, if you're just sitting in the middle, like very unoptimal, then you can drift pretty safely. Ketchup face cam? I'm gonna have to have like literally bottles of ketchup in the background as part of a bit or something. Again, all we're doing, kind of floating around, not taking the boost pads, not drifting, not building up turbos. Literally driving in a straight line, my hands off the analog stick. I know it's not the most crazy. And then like one drift. Doesn't even have to be big. We'll do a small one. And then just turbo across. And then again, go somewhere in the middle here, where there's nothing on any side of you, so it's basically impossible to crash from any, like there's about 8 car widths worth of stuff away. And then just use your turbos on these large aerial gaps. Maybe I'll stream once we hit like a sub goal or something. We got one person coming up to us, so like we're probably gonna get second because we don't have enough turbos built. But again, they don't know the shortcuts, so maybe not. I don't know if we actually build enough without drifting. And drifting is cheating, so I guess we don't get first. But again, we just drift around there. Nowhere near anything. Far edges. Wait, it is first? What happened? Did that crash or something? I'm confused. Alright. The only problem is I'd have to tidy up my desk. Also, all my nice stuff is right off view of my backdrop. We got nice, like, wooden bookcases filled with books and stuff, but they don't really fit behind me. So I don't really have a great backdrop. Just a kind of a blank wall. Yeah, that's what I said. Just take it, like, literally not sharp. Like, sit in the middle so that, like, if you're in the middle, there's nothing to crash onto, right? Like, there's, like, 8 car widths on either side of you. I have faith that you could not crash if you don't try to take it tight. Alright. How mechanical are we allowed to be on Puddle Jumper 2? That's a question. I think we'll do one small baby drift before we jump off the platform, and that's about all we're allowed to do. Oh, 39% boost? That could be a problem for this then. So again, one small baby drift. Barely got us to even minimum speed because we had no speed. Only take this. No. We're gonna just kind of float around. And obviously getting these would be a little bit tricky. We'll hit lava to make it a bit more fair. And I have faith that if you don't try for the first one though, you can get the second. Is floating here too mechanical? Like floating in the air above these? And again, we'll just do one drift before the platform. Not a big one, just any one. It's too mechanical? What if I hit the lava? Does that make it less mechanical? On my main, I think it's dropped to rank 60, but there's no way I'm not in the top 40. And again, we have all the time in the world to line this one up. And here, I'm not doing anything. The car drives up the side of the wall by itself, by the way. Alright, so it's too mechanical to do this, you said, so we're going to hit the lava. That should make it less mechanical. These ones you have lots of room to fly over. Is that a bit more fair? You can take that route. 50% of the time? Alright, so... yeah, your car just drives up the wall here and pops out naturally. We're not even trying to flip up for those, which I'm pretty confident they could do. We'll hit the lava, like you said, because it's not that you can't take the route, it's that you can't take the route without doing it accurately. So low mechanical, you could still take that route. If you hit the lava, it's still faster. And again, this is the rank that everyone's complaining their heart's stuck in on Reddit. And we're like not drifting, not air flipping. Like, I know we got that one boost pad with an air flip, but like, shoot me. Like, I don't believe you're not getting that little of boost pads. Right. When we start getting into Elite, we'll do slightly more drifting. Or, I don't know, like we'll hit a couple more boost pads. That's about it. Like, we're always going to keep the mechanics way below whatever skill rank we're at. Which mostly right now means just drifting. Wait, this game is easy? Yeah! What rank are you, Nato? Or do you play? Like, again, here, do they have the mechanics in Diamond 3 to do any side flips? Okay, so the trick for that is, do you play on controller? Because watch my car right here at the start. See how it's flat? But if I pull back on my analog stick, see how my nose of my car tilts up? All you have to do is tilt your car. Okay, we're gonna do a small drift because literally the analog stick drifts me. Like, it's like I just hold right and does it. Yeah, so just pull back on your car. So like, notice how the nose of my car is up. If you just pull down on your analog stick, your car stays in the air forever, basically. These guys are faster, huh? I still think air flipping's a little bit too much, so we're just gonna kind of drive into the boost pads and miss all those. I don't know, maybe they are faster. What do you guys think? But again, we're just holding the right analog stick here. That's not even us pressing the drift button. We're gonna miss that just to be fair, because doing any drift seems like it's cheating somehow. Yeah, they're a lot faster now. We might be in trouble. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely doing that stuff. Okay, we're gonna assume we can at least flip to the wall rather than crash into it. Like, we're not gonna go for any of those fancy ones, but like, yeah, the guy's cracked. Honestly, yeah, they kind of seem pretty decent, huh? All right, maybe we'll take the second one here. Even though they can all do it, we'll only take one of them. And then again. Yeah, they're all fast. We're just gonna crash into the wall instead of air flip because, I don't know, air flipping might be a bit too much. And then we'll just turbo. So there you go. I mean, they're cracked, but like, we still did significantly less than them. But we knew the route. The route is enough to be able to outdo all of their mechanics. Like, we never flipped up. We never flipped down. We barely flipped to the side. Those are definitely all things High Diamonds can do. We didn't use drift. We didn't use the drift button a single time. So we're still going through Diamond 3 without the drift button, which is not bad. And then like minimal flips. Like, we could crash into the wall. It's almost the exact same, but like, feel like it's almost disrespectful to say the diamonds can't, like with large space, flip to a wall. It's almost more mechanics to crash into the wall accurately. Oh no, we get to run it back. Okay. So we'll assume that hitting the first one and the second one here is too mechanical, right? Because that's a lot of flip out, flip up, like back and forths. But hitting the last one should be fair. You know, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got lots of time to be able to line up for that one. And again, we're not going to use our drift button. We're literally letting the car drift for us. And we're just driving in a straight line. And like, they can all do that stuff. Like, look at them go. Kinda. They can all try. But we're not drifting. We're just kind of floating around. We're not going to air flip into those. Maybe we'll do it one of the laps. Here, again, obviously they can do this at this rink. They can also flip up there and, you know, over to there. But we're not going to do that. That's a bit... That is a little bit mechanical. And again, like, they can all do that. Don't get me wrong. So we'll do it on one of them, because we have lots of time. We're avoiding the lava. And then we're just driving a straight line. And I really do believe that they can drive in a straight line at Diamond. And that one got so much faster, huh? Look at him go. Maybe we'll get one of these. Maybe that seems reasonable. Getting those seem a little bit too tricky, as I said. And we don't want anyone in Diamond 3 to be like, I can't do that. So we're not taking most of the boost pads. We're not flipping up to any of these. Not flipping up to the ceiling. This guy ahead of us is like actually good, by the way. Like definitely good for this rank. And like they're hitting all these. We're only gonna hit one. We'll take our second. This guy deserves first. You know, he's way above everyone else in the lobby. Yeah, that's what I tell people. Either try it only on the first lap. Yeah, I mean, look at him. He's 4 seconds faster than everyone else. Like, sometimes you'll get a lobby where you have one dude that is probably not the rank that he is. That happens. It's okay. We accept those. Alright, we're making our way through Diamond 3 pretty easily so far, though. Yeah, as you said, Bernie, yeah, a lot of people try it and then they just crash. Crashing is the slowest thing you can do, generally. Alright, what do we got? Airborne 1? Again, so we'll do a little bit of drifting. Just a little bit. Turboing while drifting, I was told, was a little bit much, so we're not going to do that. That was a little bit uncalled for, I agree. We could do one small drift here, and that's about the limits of our... What happened to our speed, by the way? We had a 100% speed boost, and it all disappeared. That was super weird. But yeah, drifting through here, every single person at this rank can do. It's a giant wide area. Look at them even drift, like they're chain drifting through here. Look at them go. They're so fast. And again, a big tunnel. We can do a little bit of a drift. You know, we're behind everyone else. We're only drifting on the real big sections. They're all chain drifting fine, by the way. So we don't feel too bad about doing little small baby drifts. I tried to end that early, by the way. The car literally wouldn't let me. That's not my fault, guys. Right. We have faith that they can do small little drifts, right? And again, without drifting much, it might be a little bit tricky to claim the top ranks. That doesn't mean you can't climb with low mechanics, though. Like, that guy's full-on chain drifting. Ah, we didn't steal second. Yeah, all the maps with like heavy drifting. We're gonna have to compromise at some point with the chat of like what's allowed or not allowed. Like, I don't think we need to do chain drifting, but we should be able to do at least a little bit more small baby drifts throughout the map. Yeah, the drift-heavy maps are always going to be a little bit tricky for us as we climb. Alright, Diamond 3. Is straight line tech finally going to fail in Diamond 3? Like, we're going to race most of this without our hand on the analog stick. Just a straight line. Still not on the analog stick. Just doing it now, not using the drift button. Literally... Okay, that was a bigger drift than I wanted because the car literally forced me to do it though. Straight line tech. Just driving in a straight line. They're all able to hit that boost pad. We're not able to. That's mechanical. Look at them go. They know the shortcuts now. Us, not so much. We can drift in the tube because the game literally forces us to. That's about all we can do. Is this too unmechanical for Diamond? What do you guys think? Mostly just driving in a straight line. Yeah, almost all of this we're just driving literally without the analog stick. Like, all of this is without the analog stick. Just straight line driving. And there is always that one player now that's like so much faster than everyone else, huh? Well, we don't end up with enough for a turbo because we didn't drift enough. Yeah, it's kind of a shame that there's one person so much faster than everyone always. I wonder if that's what regular people deal with. That's okay though. Nothing's really stopping us though. We're still climbing every single match. And as long as we're climbing, with minimal mechanics, minimal drifting, minimal anything, we can't complain too much. Alright, what map we get next? I need to work on my part 3 of my Roots Guide at some point too. I can't just have an unfinished series. I'm not going to tell you how to do the tougher maps. It's too secret. Alright, Cliff Runner 2. Literally a map filled with lava and mechanics, so let's see what we're allowed to do or not allowed to do. Similar to our Cliff Runner 1, we're going to just drive along the inside track. As close to the inside as possible. We're not going to go for every boost pad. We're not going to try drifting this. We're just going to drive through it. Then we're going to do a little bit of a drift. Drifting might be a little bit too much. Can they weave it out? They can. Can we weave it out? I don't know, that seems pretty mechanical. Obviously they all get a drift here though, so we'll do like one small drift. And then we'll just do some baby drifts into the wall. Well, not baby drifts. We'll do some actual drifts into the wall. And we're just hugging the left-hand side. We're just hugging the left-hand side, not drifting. Afterwards, we'll do a little bit of drift. Maybe drift at this point, after we're safe and all the way through. We are falling behind everyone else. We missed the boost pads there? We went in between them. So again, we'll do one drift here, because every single person can do a drift there. Try to get the draft bonus off him as much as possible. And then we'll drift into the wall. Because somehow we're high diamond and can't drift. And again, hug the left-hand side. Don't try to get every boost pad. Just hug the left-hand side, play it safe. Hug the left-hand side. Drive in between these areas where there's no lava. Then do your drift. Pull it in the air, then do your drift. Only once you're safe do your drifts. And again, weaving in and out, even though every single person seems to be able to do it, might be too mechanical. So maybe we land a bit short, finish off our drift. But there you go. No drifting through all the complicated parts, just hugging through the left-hand wall. That's almost enough to get first. I'm sure they'll do it over time, native. Something like that. Although it's probably frustrating enough for people when they die already. Imagine getting knocked aside by actual items. I think people would rage pretty heavily. So actually I'm not sure if they will or not. Yeah, still comfortably moving through Diamond. No real hiccups, safe lines, minimum mechanics. When do you think we're allowed to like start doing a little bit more like actual drifting? Not like chain drifting. I was told like midway through Diamond 2 by a member before, but I mean obviously that would have been incorrect because it's still too easy. Same map? No? Nope, the original Cliff Runner. Okay, so but Diamond, they know how to drift a little bit. We're going to mostly focus on as much straight lines and staying close to the inside track as possible. Like, they're drifting right off the start now. We're just going to hug the inside line, not drift. Look at them go! Like, what the heck? That was crazy mechanics. And then we'll do one small drift. That's all we're allowed to do. These guys are cracked at this rank. Again, all we're doing is holding the analog stick. It kind of forces us to drift. Here's enough room to do one actual drift. Yeah, but Diamonds seem to be pretty cracked mechanically, not gonna lie. So we're not gonna chain drift. We're just gonna do two small drifts in here. And maybe one here. Oh, we flipped down, but we could have just not flipped down. There's no real advantage to it. One small drift. And then drift coming out of here. Use our turbos once we get to full turbos. Taking advantage of the catch-up mechanic the whole time. If you're not in first, you're getting free speed boost. Also, that guy just really slowed me down. So again, one drift left, stop, drive over to the right. One drift left, stop. And all we're doing is hugging the inside line, driving in straight lines mostly. Are you in the Discord? You can ask any time in there. You waste all the time in there. And then drift coming out of here. Only after you're on the dirt and safe. Again, one small drift, only on the big turn areas. Anywhere else, bit overkill. So again, don't even try to drift this. It's too complicated. Just drive up the inside wall. Then go for your one small drift. And your one small drift. And that's enough to get you to top 3 in climbing every single time. Mostly just straight lines. No real mechanics. No constant drifting. No chain drifting. Nothing like that. And I'm not saying if you have zero mechanics, you're to come first all the way to Unreal. But you will climb to Unreal. My Nick tier 4? Is that your... No, I'm asking like if you're in our Discord though. Like the link's in the description. Oh, is that you that just passed me at the end? Oh, it was. Well, there you go. You should rewatch that race from my perspective, of me just kind of driving in straight lines, depending on what you were doing, and see like the difference between how mechanical you were being and how many drifts you were doing, compared to me just kind of driving. But nice, Eric. You're diamond? How goes the climb? Very nice. Hopefully the whole series helps. If you're not subscribed, a lot of my routes help as you climb up through the ranks. You're elite and I'm racing with you? What the heck? Alright, so... good to know, though, that that's good enough in elite. So at this rank, they're all able to do, like, some drifts in here. You know, maybe we'll bump into walls once. Simulate them a little bit. But in general, they can now drift around big turns. Here, I think this is a little bit too complicated for them to do consistently. Every single Diamond 3 player, I should say. Just trying to do like more advanced shortcuts. I tried to bump into the wall, the car literally stopped me. Can they go underneath now? Okay, they can all go underneath now. So we should be able to go around, drift around. We'll drive into the wall because we're not mechanical. We're the unmechanical players, right? So we're going to use a turbo in this section, though. We shouldn't have used 2. We should have taken advantage of the catch mechanic. Again, all we're doing is driving in a straight line. Straight line is enough to beat most of people. Only the really safe, you know, everyone should be able to drift here at this rank. Just a couple small drifts. Not even big drifts. Just small drifts. Then again, drifting on that wall or even driving on that wall might be a bit complicated. So just floating here instead, very unmechanical. We'll drive on the coals just like they do a little bit. We don't want to be accused of... Yeah, they're all pretty confidently able to drift most of the main turns now. Hey, I'll go underneath? Oh, he doesn't, so we should probably not... Yeah, we'll always hit the lava a little bit in there, because otherwise I think it's a little bit too unfair. You can hover underneath here to cut the inside track, by the way. Yeah, look at them. They get a lot of nice little drifts in there. So maybe we can like follow them. We'll steal one drift from them here and one from them here, just like they do. For that inside path, you definitely don't need to do that until you're like... Although how he did it is a safe way to start trying it out. Doing it for the first turn and then giving up on the other ones. They probably can underneath. Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. Because it's not really any trickier driving underneath. We'll bump into the thing as always, because anything less than that is too mechanical. Drive on the coals, because again, we're not perfect. And there you go. We took all the safest routes. Probably less drifting than them. Just knowing where to use the turbos in the large tunnel kind of crushes people. Because you're in an area that you can't drift. I mean, obviously I'm not drifting anyways, but in theory, you could be drifting other places as well. So large areas, your speed's stuck at 570. So you really want to turbo in a straight line through there, tilting back on your analog stick so your car floats in the air. And obviously there's like 1,000 more complicated ways to do that map, but you don't need to. That's my whole point, is you don't need to do anything tricky. Pelios? Was that someone that I just raced? I don't know who that is. I'm assuming that's someone I have raced. GG if we raced. If we did, I highly recommend you watching that race back from my perspective, because I would love to know that if what I did, you mechanically could do. Because the whole goal is I'm racing with what I would consider less than the mechanics of the people at this rink. Like, hopefully decently, significantly less. I think it's just where to use turbos. Really comes to the difference. So here we're just going to drive mostly in straight lines, even though everyone knows how to drift except for us. We'll drift less than them to make it fair. Here we'll crash into the wall on purpose, because some players will crash into the wall. And yes, this makes us slower than everyone else. That's fine. Here there's a shortcut, which they just don't know, which you could just hover in the air around. We'll do one small drift, and that's it. At this rank, they can all do the outpost, but that might be considered mechanical, so we're not going to do it. We're going to hit lava and the wall, because we don't know how to drift in here. Right? We're low mechanics. Low mechanical people will hit the lava. What rank? I am rank 40 in the world on my main. I think. Here, we're trying to race with, like, the same mechanics or less, though. So we're going to be driving into walls, across coals, simulating exactly what diamond players do. You know, bad lines. We just drove in the coals for like 3 seconds right there. But they don't know about stuff like this shortcut, which allows us to catch back on time. On this ult, about halfway through Diamond 3. So again, we can get one small little drift. Maybe let's assume we can hit the outpost 1 out of 3 laps, because, you know, again, most people at this rank can. They can't drift this perfect though, so each time we are going to drift it into lava and walls, because apparently that is the skill level of diamonds. Yeah, they're all able to comfortably drift these fine now. Like, as you can see, they never really mess those up. Here they do mess up. You're champ 66%. Well, it's good to know that the no mechanics strats work all the way to champ, considering I was playing with what I would consider Diamond 3 mechanics or less. Again, one small drift, and that's all we're capable of. Mostly we're just driving in straight lines. We don't feel comfortable doing the outpost 3 laps in a row. We don't feel like doing even twice. Maybe we could do this without hitting lava 1 out of the 3 times. We still crash into the side of the wall, of course, but lava, less so. And that's enough to get second. Significantly less drifting, crashing into the lava, crashing into the walls when we do drift. Yeah, like, for example, we're doing no chain drifting. Probably at all into Unreal, because... Yeah, honestly, I could see why people complain on Reddit if, if people are saying Diamond's so hard. Because, yeah, that's kind of killer if so. If I'm playing against high champs in Diamond, It's also interesting, though, that kind of just driving and drifting less than the average player, and when I do drift, drifting into lava or walls, is still enough to beat most players. I think a lot of people don't know the shortcuts or lines, which is how you could just absolutely crush all the way to Unreal. If you have interest, Achilles, there's a Discord link in the description, by the way. We do in-house races a lot, where we help like elites, champions, and even Unreals climb further. Okay, so here's another good example. I don't know what we're allowed to do on this map, because this map sucks. I think this is like objectively the worst map. Like everyone hates this map. So we're gonna just try to avoid the track as much as possible, because why would you race a bad track? So I don't know how fast people are at this rank. I guess we'll see. We're gonna do mostly just avoiding the track though, because it's probably mechanical to be able to drift through it. Man, I really can't time my starting boosts. So we're just gonna drive off the track, avoid the track completely, and then do some drifts around here. That's about it. Besides that, we're just avoiding the track completely. We'll do one drift here, because there's plenty of space. But again, besides that, we're going to hop in the air. We're just going to hover the left-hand side in the air. Lots of maneuverability. Lots of space. Then we're going to drop down and hit this boost pad. But our goal is just to be away from the track. We're not driving on the track. The track sucks. After the first ball, there's lots of room to drift. That's about it. See? We're just kind of floating around the entire track. One small drift here, because there's plenty of room. Not a big one, because we're not mechanical. But mostly, we're just literally floating through the entire track. Like, we're not doing anything, right? We're not even driving. We're playing Airplane Simulator. You just touch the ground, jump up, and then float around it. Drift twice here. That's about the only drifting we're doing, right? Zoom, 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 zoom. Drive on the ground. It doesn't even matter if we can't float long enough. Again, we're just floating. As soon as we're on the ground, hop back up in the air. You have full maneuverability in the air. A lot more dimensional. And then just press your turbo. We literally... What the heck? It respawned us so far back. That guy bumped us into a wall at the end. That's crazy. Alright, first game we actually lose ranks. That's the first time I've seen that. This car screwed me so hard. That's okay though. That happens, Franks. But in general, as you saw, just floating around the map was enough. Whether or not it worked at the end or not. That death is diamond accurate? There you go. So there you go. We can have a bad game in Diamond 2. It's diamond accurate. Alright, what map we get next? Alright, so again, this is what we just raced against Achilles in a straight line. We're just drifting in a straight... Look at that guy! That guy just meg flip to the tree, by the way. Just throwing that out there. How mechanical are these people at Diamond? So again, we did one small drift, and one small drift. So we're drifting less than them. And one small drift. Anything past that is probably too mechanical. I can't believe that guy Meg flipped that tree. That's insane. Anyway, just drift around the big turns. Drive on the coals if you have to, because you can't take them properly. That's all okay. Watching them turbo here is great for us. Because areas like this are real slow. So one drift around here. We'll drive on the coals a little bit because we're not mechanical. Where the heck is that? Okay, that G4 dude is obviously a major smurf. He Meg flipped to the tree at the start. He's gonna do it again here, I bet. Yeah, look at that. What a smurf. We'll just do small little drifts in here. So we're not getting first because we're not going to outrace the smurf. Wait, he's a smurf but doesn't take the inside line? What am I watching? Again, 3 small drifts, 1 on each turn. Other people will probably pass you at this point because they're doing bigger drifts. That's okay. You don't need big drifts. Small little drifts is enough. We use 1 turbo in this aerial section. Hey, he knows he knows like all the shortcuts? Interesting. We're just driving mostly in straight lines when we can, because we're not good enough to drift through any of these sections. Yeah, I know. It's super weird. And again, drift through here. We'll drive on the coals at the end so that it's realistic. Oops. And save our turbos for the tunnel. The guy knows, like, he's like one of those people in Rocket League that, like, goes for flip resets at Platinum. That's like literally this dude. Because this Meg flip right there is intense. And he's not even doing it to actually get full enough speed. It's actually funnier that he's doing it slower. But again, so 1 drift, drive straight, 1 drift, drive straight, 1 drift, drive straight. We're just doing small... What the heck is that? I went on top of that guy's car. He's very, very mechanical and yet very slow. Look at the chain drifting. Chain drifting into that shortcut. But instead, we're just going to drift around, drive on the coals because we're not accurate at our drifting. And then 1 drift around. Drive on the coals as we said, since we're not accurate. Oh, what the heck? Okay, and now he's intentionally stopping? Yeah, he's a weird smurf. He's just trying to... Interesting. What do you think, Achilles? Did I do anything that was... mechanical? I feel like I drift less than the average person. I just drift a little bit on the turns. That's it. And on the underground area, I hit the lava like the side of the road every single time, because I don't believe that Diamonds or Elites can hit that in one smooth motion. But yeah, saving your turbos for the large tunnel areas just absolutely demolishes this rank. Because they'll use them on, like, I don't know, just literally useless areas. Yeah, another challenge. We're doing 2 Unreal with very minimal mechanics. Like, what anyone at our rank can do, or easier by a lot. Alright, Pestifalls 2. So again, we're going to try to do this as least mechanical as possible. This time we're not going to die at the end, getting shoved by someone. But this track sucks, so we're going to avoid the track completely. We are airplane mode only. Oh no, we hit lava. It's okay. Diamonds sometimes hit lava. We're going to try to avoid the lava as much as possible by not being on the track. One small drift, and that's it. And back up in the air. When you're in the air, you have full maneuverability, and it's very hard to hit lava. We're going to hug over to this side and drop down on this boost pad. And then again, we're just avoiding the track altogether. One small drift, and one small drift. Just kind of just driving off the track as much as possible. Or in the air. If we're in the air, as I said, it's very hard to hit the lava in the air. So you can move your car a lot more easily. And obviously we could go for like boost pads like that one up there on the wall, but that might be considered mechanical. We're just trying to float around the map. 2 small drift spots. That's about all we got for us. And again, back to floating. And just avoiding the track completely and not racing it. We'll hit some lava at the end because I feel like if they turbo at the end, they're going to hit lava. Honestly, that could be a really fun idea for the Discord, Louis. Is doing some like lockout bingo or something like that, or some challenge mode, like where people build a bunch of challenges and see. I should make a suggestions channel in the Discord right now, and you should drop that in there. Video suggestions. Alright, I've added a section in the Discord for video suggestions. Because yeah, that could be fun, doing like a bunch of achievement hunting. Or getting bingo, like you make a bingo card and I try to do it. Like not you, I mean like the Discord, people in general, or I make it, and people agree on it. Get to Unreal with no drifting. Alright. Bingo. Wheel style? What's wheel style? Oh, our music ended. Random wheel of achievements? Oh yeah, that could be fun. Yeah, those are good ideas. We should do those. Good call. Get into Unreal, but every time I have to spin the reel before the race. Each race, it's like each individual race is like a huge handicap. Like, yeah, drift 3 or less times. It's like Anaconda. We're like, uh-oh. Anaconda about like in Champion. Uh-oh. Yeah, we'd have to come up with a bunch of different handicaps, and then we could do a spin the wheel each time. Oh, party, this is the opposite of top tier. The whole point is we are climbing up to Unreal while doing the least amount possible. So I don't know what rank you are, but right now we're at Diamond 3, and we're doing what any Diamond 3 should be able to do. Or less. Basically what any plat should be able to do. Which is drive in a straight line. I have faith that they can drive in a straight line. and then drift one single time around here. See, look at them chain drift. We're not chain drifting. We're not that fancy. We're just straight lining. Straight lines. We're not confident enough to hit any of those boost pads because we're only diamond. You can. You're good. We're not confident enough to go for the shortcuts because we're diamond, and that's mechanical. We'll do one drift around here, and then back to driving in a straight line. And I have faith that diamond players can, in fact, drive in a straight line. One single drift here. And again, they're all chain drifting up and down that thing at this rank. We found out that there's champion players sometimes in their games, even high champion. That's okay. Like, if you can do any of the mechanics like that shortcut, they just save massive time. But if you can't, and you can only do one small drift in the tunnel, that's also fine. We have 3 turbos. Maybe we'll do one small drift. Maybe they're capable of one single small drift. We won't get first because it looks like one player is really fast compared to everyone else. Like he hit this all perfectly the whole way. Maybe we do need to sneak a little bit more drifting in because we were short of turbo at the end. So if we can sneak one tiny lit... how are their champs? Yeah, I know. I mean, one of the people in our chat said they were champ. Or Achilles was champ when he was in their lobbies. So if we do a tiny tit... Yeah, I mean, whoever, like, knew the minions, like he's obviously significantly faster than everyone else in the lobby. Like, right? He's like 10 seconds faster than 5th. But again, just driving in a straight line for about most of it is, in fact, enough to still climb in Diamond. Are you in the Discord party? Or what rank are you? Because I don't think I've seen you in the Discord before if you found me through Reddit. But it's nice to know that my Reddit post did end up helping a lot of people. Like, I think we've helped a lot of people because of it. I was always on the edge of making that post. It was disheartening to see how many people were skeptical that someone just wanted to help out. Have an Ultimare champ, 70%. Main Geoguesser? Yo, when we 1v1ing Geoguesser? How good your Mongolia meta with the straps and the tires? You able to identify the slanty curbsides in Perth, Australia? Like, what kind of level of Geoguesser you at? You can still flip with default settings. I can show you. Some of the top 30 people, like one of the top 30 person in the world is default settings. So one small drift. Small drifts only. They try to do big drifts, which is why they crash. You don't need to do big drifts. Just do less than your opponents. It's often more. So one small one, we drive in a straight line. One small one, we drive in a straight line. One small one, we drive in a straight line. They're obviously all able to drift on the major turns now. Here, I don't feel confident driving on the road. Although we could probably drive on the top side. But again, one small drift. We'll drive in the coals because we're not accurate, because we're low mechanics. Oh, nice. You're pretty good at Geoguessr. You probably beat me then. So we drift around here. We'll drive on the coals again, because again, we're going to assume that you can't hit that perfect each time at this rank. And we saved our turbo for the tunnel. We can hover underneath here, take an inside line, and then we're just going to drive straight. We could be drifting at any point during this, but we're only going to drift on the main turns and only drift small drifts. No big drifts, just all small individual drifts. Same here. Small drift, let go. Small drift, let go. Small drift, let go. Hello, Kineku. Again, we could drive on the coals. It's all perfectly fine. It doesn't matter. All that matters is doing small drifts on the turns. We don't have to drift in any of this area like those people are doing right there. We could drive on the coals. You know, if you mess up your drifts, it's perfectly fine. We drift just on the main turns where they drift. And we're going to drift less than them. Drifting less than them is going to let us drift better than them. So again, we're going to drift onto the coals here because we assume that they will always hit the coals. Hey, look at that guy actually turboing here. What he doesn't know is you can hover underneath here to get an inside line. And obviously, you know, if you drift anywhere in here, it's faster. We're only going to do small drifts. No big long-held drifts. Hey, look how long he holds this. We just hold it for a second. What he's doing is better. Don't get me wrong. That's more speed. If you could do it, do it. We're just saying that we're not comfortable doing it. We're doing it as low mechanics as possible. We drive on the road as much as possible to build up our minimum speed. Notice how it's going up from 570? And then we drift around. And as usual, we'll try to hit the... Oh, we actually missed the coals. It doesn't make that much of a difference. But by doing that, you'll have 2 turbos for the end. Maybe we'll handicap ourselves from not hitting the coals by not using the second turbo. That should more than make up for it. So, we should have hit the coals, which would have slowed us down by about 1/10 of a second. Instead, we just didn't use a full turbo. And how we're winning is we're drifting less than them, and we're using the turbos at the correct spots. Drifting less doesn't make you faster, it makes you slower, but it's safe and it's consistent. And I can confidently say that they can safe and consistently do a small drift. You might want to add me on my main instead of here. I'm not sure what the benefit is of adding me on the account that we're not going to play after it's Unreal. It's only going to take us a few more sessions to hit Unreal. I've got about an hour left I can stream today. Was hoping to hit... The grind is really slow, eh, for Diamond? Even when you're, like, coming top 3 consistently. 10 to 13 minutes. Yeah, this is exactly why I don't play my main. Like, at rank 50, the queues are like an hour. Like, it's impossible to play. So there's nothing I can do except make educational content for the other people that want to climb up. Alright, we're doing our 1 hour reminder. If you're in the chat, press the like button if you haven't, while we load in the game. Alright, Kirby Canyon 2. I think that would defeat the point of the series, partying up with people. Because we're trying to show what the average player experiences. But we can race other times, like on my main, like when I'm not doing this series. Anytime throughout the day. So Cliff Runner... Oh, it's Cliff Runner 1? Okay. Cliff Runner 1. So we're going to drift a little bit, and that's about it. So no drifting here. We're just going to drive on the inside track. Notice how it's the same speed as hitting the turbos, by the way. And if you drift in here, it's even faster. We're going to do one small drift, and that's all we're capable of. Because it's only high diamond or elite. We're going to wait till we're on the dirt. Once we're on the dirt, we're comfortable drifting around. And again, big turns like this, we're comfortable doing a little bit of a drift. That's about it, right? Here, we're not comfortable doing anything more than a straight line. I know this guy's drifting up and down, and you definitely can, and you should. But again, we're not comfortable drifting here. Now we'll do one drift until we're close. And one more drift. We're saving our turbos to get full advantage of the catch-up mechanic. We'll do one small drift, and then just drive in a straight line. Obviously, drifting on that inside line, by the way, is significantly faster. So one drift, and then we're just kind of hugging the inside track. Wait until we're on the dirt. Once we're on the dirt, this is a really easy drift to do. Oh, we have full turbos. We should probably be using that. Since we had turbo, we're not going to drift there. Since that might be a bit tricky, instead we'll just do one small one here. Yeah, even without drifts. Yeah. So again, we don't have the confidence to be able to drift up here, so instead we'll drive. Wait till we're here, nice and safe area, we'll do a drift. Nice and safe area, we'll do a drift. Use a turbo since we're getting close to full turbos. And like, if you want to try drifting, you can drift into the wall even. Like, look, this is something any player can do, right? They can drift into the wall. Okay, that wasn't even me drifting, by the way. I was just holding the left analog stick. So again, we're on the dirt. Yeah, wall bonk tech. So again, the big turns, we can do a drift. And we probably won't ever get first doing stuff like this. Maybe actually with the wall bonk tech we could. Again, one drift. And one drift. With the wall bonk tech, we'd actually have an extra turbo and it would have came first. So we'll add in the wall bonk tech, which is just drifting into a wall because we don't know how to drift normally. Hey! Welcome to the stream. We're still climbing up Diamond 3, coming top 3 every single game, mostly first with significantly less mechanics than anyone else in this rank. Yeah, knowing the lines is definitely enough. I really do hate how little you get in Diamond, though. I can see why people get frustrated trying to climb through Diamond and Elite and Champ. Just the percent grind, like, even if you're winning, it's like, oof. You know? Alright, what map we get next? Alright, so Sidewinder. Again, the only way we can make this not mechanical... like, it's Diamond. We'll only use the drift button on like one spot. How about that? The rest we'll just let auto drift. Because at this point, they all know how to drift decently okay. Like, we could be drifting at any point here. We're just holding the analog stick. We're letting the game drift for us. That's all we're doing. Again, holding the left analog stick as hard as I can, and letting the game drift for me. Same with here. Holding the right analog stick. This will be the only part I'll actually use the drift button. And then I'll come up the wall and exit out. The rest, we're just letting it auto drift for us. It takes a while. I don't know how to do maps like the heavy drifting maps on mechanical. Like, I need a better way to do it as we climb up the ranks. I think it's safe to assume that they can, like, drift on these turns, can't they? Like, what makes it unmechanical? Like, doing a drift here? Is that really is that really mechanical? So I don't think our drift meter went up there. That was weird. We'll drive up the wall, you know. Less drifting than them generally. We'll try to take it wide. We're literally just holding the right analog stick and letting it drift. That's why they look so sloppy. Saving the turbos though for this section. And again, driving on the coals. That's all perfectly fine. We hug the left-hand side here when we turbo, and it's fast enough. We're just driving in straight lines, on the ground as much as possible so our speed keeps going up. Hold the right analog stick. Don't even need the drift button. Hold the left analog stick. Don't need the drift button. Gives you a smaller drift, but I'm just saying, like, you don't need to do it mechanically. Same with here. We're just holding the right analog stick. Here we'll do one drift because the turn's pretty tough otherwise. It's not a big deal if people pass you. We're just holding the right stick. And then we use the turbos we stacked up. This guy knows to save up 3 as well, so we'll take a second place. But without basically the drift button, I don't know, like... Yeah. Does Chad have any ideas on how I could do maps like Sidewinder or Anaconda fairly with low mechanics? It's like, I don't know what counts as low mechanics for maps like this. Yeah, because it's going to be a problem as we climb through Elite and Champion, just not drifting on the maps that are literally only drift maps. That look pretty fair. Alright, fair enough then. But I mean, like, we're in Champion, are we really not allowed to press the drift button? I think when we're in Champion, I think we're just not allowed to chain drift. Is that allowed? Does that seem reasonable? No chain drifting? I mean, we're not going to chain drift all the way to Unreal. Like chain drifting is a little bit more of an advanced mechanic, I think. I think we just need to start doing more like baby drifts. Like individual drifts. Like one single drift, and we just take the pads, hover the inside line, and then we drift around this area, which is super wide and nothing for us to crash into. And we'll just drive in a straight line. We'll drift in the tunnel, because the tunnel's pretty big to drift in. And then again, we'll drift around here. It's pretty wide. I don't think I've seen anyone bonk on there in forever. And then one drift here. Like, I'm pretty sure any Diamond player can do this. We'll even bonk, just so that no one can complain. Like, they're drifting back and forth on here. We're just doing one drift. Again, we'll even bonk. One drift. It depends. The red flag, I don't think it counts as a red flag when we were using shortcuts they didn't know. Wait for the drift to end, and we'll turbo. Start using our turbos. Do our drift that we've done every lap here. Then we're going to jump up here and kind of float in the air. Just gonna float in the air around here, and then use our last turbo. Like, that's not much drifting, right? We kind of just drifted on the main big turns. We didn't drift anywhere in particular. We just used our turbos at the right spot. Saved them all for the end for the catch-up mechanic. In fact, we had so many that at one point we were stacking our drift while we were 3 full turbos. That's okay. We're taking advantage of the game mechanics. Oh crap, I said low mechanics and I'm using the catch-up mechanic. I'm cheating! Don't tell the police. Although if the police are diamond ranked, they probably can't catch me anyways. So we're all good. Yeah, this really is a slow climb though, even with a lot of firsts. But I guess there's only a couple ranks to go till we're Unreal, right? It's just once we get to Elite and Champion. Yeah, I mean, chain drifting is really strong, Birdie. It's, don't get me wrong. Okay. High Diamond, almost Elite. Can they air flip and hit that boost pad there? Like, is that allowed? Or is that still no-no? Like, I know we weren't doing it in, like, Plat, but... Last time we raced this, we basically didn't drift. I'm sure we're going to have to drift at this rink. It's called Curvy Canyon. There's a lot of curves. We're going to assume that they still can't hit that, even though they definitely can. We're just going to float around the map casually. I guess I'll drift here and miss the... Oh, I tried to miss the boost pads. We'll crash into the walls. That seems realistic. We'll drift and, like, bonk. Again, drift. And we're just going to let the analog stick drive up the wall for us. Like, that wasn't even us. The game literally drives you up there. We're going to wait till we're here. Do one small drift. Line up perfectly. We've got lots of time. And then flip up. just gonna hop in the air. We have lots of control in the air. And then go back to straight lines. Like, look at those chain drifts. Whoa, they're so good. Straight line tech though, stronger. Yeah, they all know how to air flip, they know how to drift, they all know how to do things. I'm trying to miss it. Okay, I tried to miss it. The car literally dragged me into it. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. They forced me. I'm gonna not drift here to make up for it. Again, one drift into the tunnel, and then I let go of my controller, and it drives me up to there. Like that's no inputs from me. One drift, line up, jump up, and press turbo. It allows you to use the speed from the boost pads for longer. Because they wear off, but since you've hit multiple of them, you know, we'll just use a turbo too. You don't want to accidentally... So obviously, they should be able to air flip up there. Somehow, we're going to consider that high mechanics. Even though at this rank, they're literally air flipping around turns. We're gonna skip the other one, bonk into the wall. How about that? Yeah, I'm trying to bonk so hard. That car is literally a savior. He's like, I got you, dude. I will not let you hit that wall today. But again, hands off the analog stick, it naturally drives your car to that angle. So one small drift, and one small drift. And we're just driving basically in a straight line. Okay, that was the game auto-drifting me, so I'm going to count it. Like, I didn't use the drift button in the tunnel, I just tried to drive around it and it, you can even see me slowly trying to tap it so I don't drift. The game really wanted me to. Yeah, that car really had my back. Where are those in my main rank game? What the heck? I need those dudes in all my lobbies. I'm out here trying to crash through like, no. We got you. What if you stream snipe me and it's just trying to carry me? I see how it is. The team plays too strong. Party, if you're still watching, by the way, pay attention when you chain drift. You're probably chain drifting too fast. If you watch your drift meter, each time you chain drift, your drift meter stops going up. So if you're doing small chain drifts, it's the same as not drifting. Like, for all intents and purposes. You need to be holding in each direction for like a while to get a chain drift going, like a second. Alright, Cliff Runner 2, we're going to do kind of the same as Cliff Runner 1. We're going to hug the inside wall. Do one small drift and that's it. We're just going to hug the inside track, not go for any boost pads that are out of our way. We're just hugging the inside. That one's out of the way. We're just hugging the inside. We can't drift this. We can't drift this. We can't drift any of these. We're past the lava, we can do a drift. We jump up, wait till we're on the dirt. Once we're on the dirt, we're comfortable drifting. Oh, I didn't mean to train drift. I tried to let go. Sorry. I think every diamond player is able to swerve in and out of there, but we're low mechanics, so we can just drive in a straight line. Same with drifting here, they can all do that. Instead, we're going to drive up the wall, then do a small drift. We float around the outside edge, get our one small little drift, hop up, and then just hug the inside track. All we're doing is hugging literally the inside. We're not going for any of the boost pads that are out of our way. If we hit lava on the inside track, it's okay. Again, we don't feel comfortable drifting here, so we're going to try to just grab mostly in a straight line until after the lava. Then we're going to go for a drift. Same with here. We're on the rocks, we can drift. Not until you're in a safe spot can you drift. And again, obviously you can swerve in and out of there, pick up all those. You don't even need to drift, you can just kind of lightly drive. But if you can't, that's fine too. We're only doing the smallest little baby drifts in straight lines. One small baby drift, and then again, back to straight lines. We're hugging the inside line. We're not going for any boost pads, they're out of our way. Literally, we accidentally kind of pick them up as we hug the inside. That's it. No drifting, straight line, straight line, straight line. Past the lava, do a small drift. Hover in the air, land firmly on the ground, then activate your drift. Doesn't have to be immediate, make sure your car is centered on the dirt before doing that. And again, if you can drive in and out, drive in and out and pick up all tree pads. If not, it's fine. You don't need to drift, just hug, straight lines. And as you can see, that's pretty good to be able to win. We did nothing, right? We kind of just drove on the inside track with straight lines. Didn't drift until we were in very safe spots. Only in the safest of spots do we drift. We even hit the lava on one of the inside tracks one of the 3 times, even though it's pretty tricky to do because just hugging the inside wall there is no lava. But you gotta simulate somehow that working. So that route seem fair to everyone? Like, kind of just hug the inside wall, don't drift anywhere there's lava, only drift once your wheels are firmly on the ground and there's nothing around you. Anything more than that? Probably mechanical for Diamond 3. Man, I wanted to hit Elite today, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to. Gotta do something in a little bit. Alright, what map we get next? We're up to 85 people in the Discord now. The goal was 100 by the end of the month, and we're only 12 days in. But we've kind of been flying up. Which is good. A lot of people have been helping each other out. Yeah, I think they're all able to do that pretty comfortably. They're also able to drift this pretty comfortably. Driving around there seems a little bit tough, so we're going to skip that. And again, we're just going to bonk into the wall and take one of these. Then bonk into the wall again. Anything more than that might be too mechanical. We're going to bonk into the wall. The first straightaway, I'm trying to read while doing this. First straight, give me a second. So again, one drift, line up in the tunnel, wait, jump up. You have lots of time to line up. And then just jump and float in the area. Okay, let me read. The first straightaway after the big turn with the boosts on the ceiling. I think I might have more brain cells than I have to be able to read that while racing this. Miss one of the boost flips on the wall. Okay, miss one of them? Okay, sure. I think I know what you're saying. Again, we're going to just drift into the wall each time, because somehow we assume that you can't drift without hitting into a wall. My hand's off the analog stick. It literally drives you up to that pad if you don't press buttons. So again, you have lots of time to line up. Don't try for the first one. Just hop, hit the ground, and then hop, and then start floating again. Realistically, you should be able to do one small drift here. Like, you have lots of space with nothing to do for like 10 seconds. We're mostly just floating around. Maybe we assume you can hit this like less awful 1 out of 3 times. By less awful, I mean we bonk here once and then we just don't bonk a second time. Still not hitting both the boost pads. Then again, drift into the wall because we make mistakes. And again, my hand's off the analog stick. That time it missed, but generally it lines up perfectly fine. So again, just wait. You have lots of time to line that up. Like lots and lots and lots of time. And then float. And then turbo. Oh! Third? Yeah, I mean, I think we're actually racing it a little less good than seems fair. I mean, I think we should be able to at least flip and hit the thing at the start. Yeah. We didn't see a single person not do it. At this point, they know how to side flip. Getting close to a lead. So we might incorporate that, but that's about it. But I don't want people to say like my drifting lines are too tough. One side flip per racer lap. Yeah, I mean it depends on the map, right? Like some maps you kind of need to. Some you don't. One non-required flip. Yeah. Yeah, like on like Dust Up 2, I didn't feel too bad about side flipping to those pads. As you said, maybe I should have missed one. That's fair. But like obviously they can side flip. So it's like, why can I do it on some maps but not other maps? What makes it tough on some maps and not other maps? The answer is really nothing, right? Like on Kirby Canyon 2, that side flip one there is pretty easy. It's not like you're drifting beforehand or doing anything beforehand. You have lots of time to think, drive straight, and line it up. Yeah, exactly. In any complicated flips where like maybe you have to do it after coming out of a drift or... Okay, so we're back to Cliff Runner 2. So you're saying I should miss one of the areas there. Okay. So again, one small drift, and then that's it. We're just going to float, drop down, and hug the inside track. We're literally here, wheels basically on the inside, driving in a straight line. We don't drift here, because it's complicated. Just drive straight. If we get bumped into the lava still, that's fine. After we pass the lava, we drift. Here we wait till we're on the dirt, and then we just hold the drift button until it straightens us out. Here, we're going to miss a boost pad as we were requested to do, and then float over to here. I feel like they can pretty confidently hit all 3 of those, but do one small drift, and that's it. That's all we're capable of doing. None of that turbo, none of that side flipping that got them killed. Just one small drift, and that's it. We just float on down. Again, one small drift, that's all we're capable of. None of this fancy stuff this guy's doing of drifting in and out. Just hugging the inside line. Honestly, it's almost more work to avoid that other boost pad, but maybe that makes you too fast. So, again, just driving in a straight line, waiting until we're out of the lava, then doing a drift. Waiting until our wheels are on the dirt, then doing a drift. Again, just straight line tech. We're not drifting until we're like here. We got lots of space. We're doing one small one. We're not doing it around the turn. We're waiting until we're in a straight line. Again, we wait till our wheels are on the road. One small one. Float up. Jump off. We're going to assume that we can't do a baby drift there because we came down with turbo, and that might be a little bit too fast for some people. So instead, hug the inside wall. No drifting, just safe, straight lines. Then drift. After we're past the lava, you can drift. Wait till we're on the ground, drift. Oh no, we messed up again. Something like that. I think we even did it more than what you're requesting, but I think the point stands. So again, don't drift around this turn. Wait till you're in the straightaway, then do the drift. Drifting around the turn, you might spin out. Only on the straightaways. Say you panic at the end, smashing the ceiling, hit some lava. It's all okay. You're still going to be climbing. And that's what I'm trying to illustrate. This is, if you just take safe, consistent routes, you will hit elite. And once we're elite, you will hit champion. And once you're champion, you will hit unreal. Doing safe, consistent strats. Coming top 3 basically every game. Like, you're never dropping ranks, right? You're not always getting first, but you're never losing points. Pretty well. Now, maybe a game or two. In general, you're never losing points doing safe, consistent strats. I think we hit lava like 2 or 3 times as well. Yeah, we hit lava 3 different times in that race too. So even with the safe strats, we were intentionally hitting lava. Like, often I think you'll be hitting less lava than that if you're racing it pretty safe. They seem to have more and more matchmaking errors. Alright, I've got about 20-25 minutes left. So we'll see how many we can win in that time. The biggest problem though is even if I get to like Elite Champion and Unreal with low mechanics, I don't really have a way to like tell the people on Reddit this is how you do it. Because like I don't want to really Anaconda with low mechanics. I don't know what we do here. I don't know what's considered fair for Anaconda with low mechanics. This is like my toughest one. Like, they're all able to drift that. Like, how about we bonk each time? Is bonking each time considered fair for drifting? Or driving on the coals? Something like this? Or is that still considered... Oh, that's gotta be considered allowed. We activate bonk tech every time? Or slam tech? Like, for like 85% of our drifts or higher? Like, oh yeah, we drove on the coals and the, This one everyone seems to do fine, so like, I don't know. But yeah, look, we're just bonking, right? We're just drifting as hard as we can into the walls. We're just drifting as hard as we can. Literally, that's all we're doing. We don't even need the boost pad. We just drive straight. And then we're just drifting as hard as we humanly can into the wall. And again, as hard as we can. But I mean, like, if we do it this bad, we're gonna get beat. That's the problem. I'm trying to drive across the coals as much as possible. Oh, I didn't mean to chain drift. Sorry, I tried to let go. I mean, it's actually slower to chain drift, not faster, so. Yeah. Bonk tech. No matter where we drift, it's fine. Bonk into coals. But like, I don't know how to do Anaconda without mechanics. Like that's the one map that I don't know how to like do it fairly for this stream. Any other map? We have ways to make it fair with low mechanics, but a map that is pure. That's why I don't like Anaconda in general, though. It's not very like rocket racing at its core to me. It's just a regular drift map, like any other racing game ever. Yeah, until you start doing the Tiger World Record skip. Then it starts getting back to it. Alright, no Anaconda. We're in like Diamond 3, pretty high elite. Are we allowed to go through the outpost yet? Yeah, so we'll start the drifts late is my advice, so that we slam into the walls. Yeah, they all know the shortcuts now, so... With air flips, even. So we're gonna wait till we're on the right of this pillar, and then do one drift. Some of them are drifting in... Okay, they're all going into the outpost. We can safely go into the outpost at this rank. We're still gonna bonk on these. To make it a bit fair. Again, they can drift around these areas, no problem now. Right? Like, every single one of them can drift around these areas. Here, I think a lot of players still bonk, so we're gonna bonk. We're not gonna do carry drifts or air flip. Again, we're gonna line up on the right-hand side of the pillar, then do one drift. One small little drift. Okay, I'm trying to release it. It's literally not letting me. I see some people still don't go for that pad over there. So we won't. We'll still bonk on this every single time. Assuming you're the lowest mechanical player. Air flip would really help there. Again, one drift. And I think this map is a little bit too hard without being able to drift this section. So instead of drifting it, we'll just float it. Oh, I shouldn't have air flipped. I mean, it doesn't really do much. I just did it out of instinct. Oh. Yeah, maybe you do need a little bit of mechanics for Outpost, though. At least not to crash on repeat into every single wall. Also, 233? Wait, Vinny! Okay, Vinny's smurfing. Who's in my lobbies, normally. So, we ran against top 100 Smurf. Who's actually just racing. Like, tone it down. If you're going to get an Unreal account smurfing, might as well at least make it interesting. I think the catch-up mechanic actually probably hurt us, because it probably made everyone's time a little bit closer together. So that's a little unfortunate for us. Yeah, I think Outpost we might have to do slightly more mechanics. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which. So the problem is, if we assume that they fail every single drift, then maybe you can't get elite if you fail every single drift. You have to fail just most of them. Okay, day drifting 1. That's fine. Maybe some bonk drifts and one straightaways? Yep. Okay, so we're going to introduce our bonk tech on this map. Seriously need to get emotes for this chat. The bonk tech, the lava tech. So one small drift, we drop down, and then we just bonk our way through the inside line. One small drift, and then we just hop up in the air and float around the turn since we're not able to drift. Same thing as on the other one. We wait till we're on the dirt, then we drift. Not until we're on the dirt, though. Again, long, big turns. I'm pretty confident being able to drift them at this rank. There's nothing to them. Here, we're still not confident drifting. Here, we're still not confident drifting. Long straightaways, we can do a couple small drifts. Again, one small one, then we drop down, and we drift into the line. Drifting into things should be easy for diamonds. One small one, and then again, we just jump up, and we just kind of float around here. Obviously, drifting around it is significantly better and not very hard. But if you want to play it as safe as possible, just drift only in safe spots. Here, big turn. Full energy, so we're turbo. Again, everyone else can drift over here, we can't. We wait till we're on a safe flat area, then we do our small drifts. Again, our one small drift, straight line, take the inside edge, and go for the bonk tech. Bonk tech, good enough. One small drift. Again, just kind of float around here. Once you're safely on the dirt, start your drift. You can hold this basically as hard as you can. Even if you mess up, it's okay. Again, we don't feel confident drifting, not until we're on safe, flat areas. safe flat areas. We'll do our 2 main drifts we've done every lap. And I'll get us top 3 as usual. Yeah, it really is a painful grind, eh? It's only like 2% for a second. That's like 50 games of coming second consecutively. I can understand why people complain on Reddit about how much points they get. Alright. Curvy Canyon 2. Okay, so we can assume that they can hit this boost pad since literally you have all the time in the world to line up and then flip. We didn't see a single person not do it. Again, here we'll mess up a little bit. Drive into the wall. That car almost kept us away from it. We're just doing small little drifts. Going to turbo through there, though, saves you a lot of time. We're going to start introducing some small baby drifts in here. Yeah, they can all comfortably hit that. So we're going to assume that anyone at this rank can comfortably hit that. We'll miss one, driving the coals a bit, stuff like that. We'll assume we can't drift immediately coming out of that because that's a little mechanical. We're moving a lot of speed. So again, small little drifts. You got lots of time. Nothing stopping you from doing a little small drift. We're mostly just floating around. Let's assume we have some competence some of the time here. And only hit one and don't crouch. So kind of a base level of minimum. We just didn't crash. We still didn't hit it perfect on any of the lefts. Just one of the 3 laps we didn't actively bonk. So again, line up, ignore the first one. Apparently ignore all the other ones. And we definitely do that significantly lower mechanics than everyone else. And I believe we still climb for these kind of points, right? Yeah, we still get 2% for that. Well, there you go. True diamond realistic expectations. You missed the other ones. Alright, I think we got time for one or two more, and then I gotta hop off. It'll be a good conclusion. I guess we'll have to finish getting to Elite the next day, and we'll start pushing through Elite. I think once we're in Champ, it'll start being a little bit tricky, right? Because there is definitely a skill difference. I remember even in the no turbos, it was very tricky. Some maps, people were really good. I think it's because by then, they've learned most of the shortcuts. And once you know the shortcuts, well then knowledge starts to be a little bit less of a powerful factor. Okay, this one's been pretty dominant before. We haven't had this one since Diamond 1, I think. But we've been doing this without any drifting all the way up to this point. So we'll just see how it goes. All we do is hop up in the air, float around, jump back up, just kind of float around. We're not down flipping on these, we're just lightly dropping and letting our car naturally fall. We didn't jump, speed alone just carries you through. And again, this is the only spot we're going to drift, and that's literally because if we didn't use the drift button, we drift anyways. All we're doing is kind of floating around. Straight lines. Not really anything to it. We're not sneaking any drifts. Again, so my hand's off the controller for that. Like, see how it just naturally lines me up? I don't have to do anything. If you don't do anything, he'll do that. Again, all we're doing, just floating around. We're not drifting. Drifting might be considered mechanical. We're gonna wait till we hit this boost pad, then we're gonna turbo. Again, wait till we're done the turn, and we turbo. Kind of just float through the whole map. There's nothing really to crash into. It's mostly straight lines. And I think we'll end it on that one for today. So about 25% left to go through Diamond. We got from Diamond 2 to most of the way through Diamond 3 today. So not too bad. I think we only had one or two that we lost points on, with basically no mechanics. Make sure you press the like button on the way out. If you're just kind of ghost watching, join the Discord. We do in houses, it's fun. Have a good one, everyone.